Hi everyone, this is Diana Palm of DianaPalm.com, and today we're going to be discussing Clairalience, which is the psychic sense for clear smelling. Have you ever smelt a fragrance or scent that is associated with your departed loved one? This is also known as Clairolfaction or olfactory. Many of you may not have realized that smelling the fragrance or scent of your departed loved one is an actual psychic gift. It is the gift of clear smelling. It is one of our natural psychic abilities where our senses for scent are really highly developed. It is very common for our loved ones in the spirit world to send us a familiar fragrance or scent so that we are reminded of them when they're near us. This will be very different than if you smell something that feels like it just doesn't belong in your home, because smelling a ghost is going to be a very unfamiliar and sometimes uncomfortable smell. It may smell more musty or not as clean, fresh, and it certainly will not trigger your fondest memories of your loved ones. So smelling a ghost is just alerting you to the fact that you have an energy in your home that's roaming around that really doesn't belong there. When people are working with the paranormal and they're working with ghosts and entities, the rotten egg or sulfur smell will be very common with an unhealed spirit with dark energies. So if you're smelling that, some unfamiliar spirit is in your environment and your space should be cleared. But when you smell a loved one in spirit, it is definitely going to trigger all of your memories, your joy, your happiness, and your love for them. Smelling a fragrance or scent that we associate with our loved one is like receiving a divine smell. It connects us to the memories of them and lets us know that they are around us in spirit. Many of us have a more highly developed sense for smelling than we do with spiritual sight or hearing voices or having other psychic abilities to tap in with the spirit world. Our sense of smelling can actually link us to our loved ones in the spirit world much more easily. I love that because a scent can actually bring us directly to a moment in time, a specific memory, or a specific loved one that we associate with that fragrance. Dogs have a very fine-tuned sense of smelling, and so dogs often smell our loved ones when they're visiting us in spirit. One of my grandmas always sends me the smell of lilacs when she's visiting, and that's because when she grew up on the East Coast, she would actually smell the lilacs growing outside her bedroom window. And it always made her feel at home and loved and relaxed. And as she grew older, she lived on the other coast and she wasn't able to grow the lilacs. She grew roses out in the desert. So growing up, that's all I knew about her was my association with roses and my grandmother. But when she comes to me in spirit, she brings the smell of lilacs. I actually had to ask a few family members because I really didn't know where the smell of lilacs were coming from. One of my family members did tell me that grandma's really favorite flower was the lilac. And so ever since that moment in time, I've realized that when my grandmother's around, I'm gonna be smelling a lot of lilacs. And that's a really special scent now for me whenever I smell that. And this could happen indoors, outdoors. It could happen in an area where there actually is no flowers growing anywhere. When the spirit world is trying to communicate to you through your own psychic sense of smell, it can actually be delivered to you anywhere that you are. You don't have to be near any kind of flower or object in order to smell the smell. That's what makes this so unique and so special when it happens. Another really common scent is if your loved one in spirit smoked or had a particular brand of cigarette or smoked a certain type of cigar, that specific type of scent can show up in the middle of nowhere. And there may or may not be any type of smoke associated with it. Most often it's going to be just the scent that you'll be able to pick up on. So pay attention to different kinds of fragrances. This could be different types of perfumes or colognes that your loved ones wore. It could also be smells that they're associated with. For instance, if they were a car mechanic and smelled like oil and cars that they worked on, in the spirit world, it's very easy for them to replicate this and send you this type of smell that makes you think of them immediately. So anything that your loved one did will be what they're associated with in terms of psychic smell. Sometimes loved ones like to send you the scent of their favorite meal that they prepared for you when they were living. So if someone's known for fried chicken and they just make the best fried chicken ever, in the spirit world, that may be their link to you, is by sending you the scent of fried chicken. When you're thinking about your loved ones and any smells or fragrances that you're associating with them, it's nice to kind of keep a running list so that you actually have more awareness when you're smelling that scent in an environment that would not be hosting it naturally. That's a clear indication for you that your sense of psychic smelling is increasing and becoming more fine-tuned. But I invite you to welcome your loved ones into your home and to stay connected to you and share your life with you, because your loved ones in the spirit world often make the greatest spirit guides. They're here to help you and assist you, especially if they had developed certain skills and abilities while they were living. Those are going to be some assets that they can pass to you from the spirit world. So call upon them just as you would in life when you have a certain problem, prospect, opportunity, you've got questions or concerns, and you need some family love and support. Those loved ones in the spirit world are going to do everything they can to let you know that they're around you and help you get the answers that you seek. A really helpful way to help you develop your own sense of psychic smell is to actually sit in a quiet room with your eyes closed and begin to notice the smells that are around you. Our nose actually tunes out a lot of the natural scents in our environment. But if you quiet your mind, relax, and tune into it, you'll actually be able to smell a lot more familiar things in your environment. And then you'll be able to be aware when something else shows up, such as the smell of lilacs, the smell of smoke, or any other number of scents and fragrances from the spirit world. Perhaps your loved one is associated with a certain perfume, incense burning. Maybe your loved one always was around animals and smelled a little bit like their animal companions. If your loved one was a gardener or landscaper and they had their hands in the dirt all the time, you may actually be smelling a lot more earthy scents when they're coming around, or the fragrant scent of flowers or something else that you associate with them specifically. Or any kind of body fragrance, types of lotions that they wore often, or the smell of vanilla. It's possible to get whiffs of different types of alcohol or beverages that your loved one loved to drink when they were living. Oftentimes people tune out these phantom smells and they disregard them as a way to connect with the spirit world. They just think, why does my room smell like this? Or that's weird, I just smelled this, I wonder where it comes from. And they're looking for something around them that's physical that could be the cause or the reason for this scent. But when it comes to the spirit world, there doesn't have to be anything physical for that scent to occur. It's just their way of sending you the sweet smell of them as a reminder that they're with you. Becoming aware of a fragrance that is associated with one of your loved ones in the spirit world can actually happen at any time. This is not something that only happens at night or between wake and sleep. Actually, when it comes to smelling our loved ones, this usually occurs when we're fully alert and in the mix of our busy day. So when you're smelling something that is unusual or doesn't belong in your environment, tune into that for a moment. Just close your eyes and tune into that and see if you can pick up on any messages that your loved ones are trying to send you at the same moment when a phantom smell is occurring. Most of the time, these are going to be very welcome scents that will just make you feel overjoyed and full of love and really connected to your loved one in the spirit world. I kind of think they're like divine perfume, and it's amazing how they can show up in the midst of nothing physical. So tune into that and see what you can perceive with your nose. Do you have the psychic sense of smell? I would love to hear all about it. Please share your experiences down below in the comments, because I'd really love to hear what types of scents and fragrances that you have smelled that remind you of your loved one in the spirit world. I'd love to know if they just popped up and how long it took you to remember who they were associated with and who was around you in spirit that was sending you these divine smells. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like down below and make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell so that you're notified every single week when I upload a new video. If you enjoy hearing more about the afterlife or after-death communication, make sure to check out this whole playlist. Thanks so much for being here, everyone. Have a great day.